Welcome to the most, I'm going to call this a podcast. This is kind of like a podcast, Coach Kim and I. We're going to talk about a couple of topics. I'm going to read them here, kind of what we're talking about. Um, One of them was like navigating the weekends. The weekends are ruining my progress. And I certainly know how that goes because that was my big setback as well. And then, Kim, what was the other one? I'm missing
Work
my
smarter, not harder when it comes to your workouts.
work smarter, not harder. Yeah, be the tortoise, not the hare, type of a deal. So we're gonna hit on these. We're gonna take about 15 minutes today. So buckle up. We're gonna give you our best, like we always do, and just super excited. A lot of amazing results. Like it's cool seeing people in the gym, and every time they look better, their smiles bigger, their muscles are more toned, their clothes are getting baggier. I love teasing people that they look these baggy clothes. I'm like, you look homeless. Like, go buy some clothes that fit. Um, so Kim, the weekend's wrecking your progress. I know this is a topic that a lot of people have struggles with. Where more social events, more events are going to be planned. You're going to be traveling more. Um, let's hit on this quick. We don't need to
Yeah.
get 10 layers deep, but when you hear about that, what are some of the things that go through your head as a coach when you're hearing these?
The first thing that I ask is just get really clear on what the goal is that you want to achieve for that weekend. I think that's really important to keep your eye on what you want to achieve. And there's no wrong answer when it comes to this. If you want to, progress forward, then you have to make sure that your actions align with those goals. You know, kind of those steps that it takes to progress forward, lots of tracking, weighing, and measuring, things like that. But sometimes, and I think this is where people kind of get in their head that they always have to have the foot on the gas pedal. No, you don't. Sometimes when weekends you have a lot of stuff going on, a win is maintaining and just saying, you know what? This is still my plan. I still need a plan of success. But if you get crystal clear on actually what you want to achieve, your subconscious and just staying present in the moment, that's going to help you stay on track and achieve the things that you want to achieve. But get crystal clear on what you actually want to accomplish over the weekend, and then you have to be okay with the ramifications of your choices. But your subconscious will help you, and then if you need help creating that plan once you have your goal in mind, hey, I'm over here, reach out, let me know, and I can help you create a plan that you can navigate.
I think the big thing is like there's a lot of power in saying no to things, right? And that can be when you say no to other things, you're saying yes to yourself. And I want you to be selfish. The weekends are a time that I think it's okay to be selfish because what we don't want is 5 days of progress where we're getting closer to where we want to be. And those 2 days or 2.5 days, because Friday is kind of the weekend for most people,
Friday at
Friday,
noon.
Sunday, we don't want that pushing us back to square one. I can tell you firsthand from me that when I knock out 2 weekends in a row, just hammer down, I start creating a lot of momentum. In the areas that I start personally falling back on is when I go out to eat. That's my biggest challenge is there's more opportunity to go out to eat, whether it be I'm at a kid's sporting event and I've never once packed a lunch. I certainly could. Um, and going out to eat, it's just easy because it's a social thing to do, but you got to plan. You got to plan what you want to do. Say no to other things. Say no to alcohol. Say no to um, staying up late. Try to keep your regular sleep schedule, I think is a really, really big thing because when people get off of their sleep schedule, it throws a lot of things off just in general. But you're 100%. When you say no to something, you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to the goals. You're saying yes to the progress you want to make. You're saying yes to following through on something that you've had a big challenge. So when I do the selling or I do the engagement for Legacy Fitness, and when I'm talking with people, every person we've spoken with, they've tried a bunch of plans. They've done well for a few days, a few weeks, a month. Maybe they saw 50 to 75 pounds of weight loss. They gain it back, right? And they just lose sight of their focus. So accountability is a big thing. I think having an accountability partner, coach that's not your spouse is a big thing. Um,
Fear of missing out, I think, is a really big trigger for a lot of people on the weekends. They're just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the only one that's not drinking. That's going to feel like crap. I don't know how to navigate that. But I mean, I know that you can attest to this because you and I have this conversation all the time. I don't think we've ever heard anybody say, feel bad about making a healthier choice. Never. I have never heard somebody say, dang it, I really wish I would have went out and had a bunch of drinks last night and missed my workout the next day. Um, and you would be surprised. I have heard people really regret going out and, and having a good time or eating pizza all weekend or whatever the case may be, and regretting doing that because they know that it's just taken them a giant step back. And then I've also heard it where they go out, they are the outlier. Don't be afraid to be that one that says no, or is going to stop at like the one cocktail instead of, following the crowd. And the people around you, they start noticing that when you're the person that is fit and healthy, and they're like, well, no wonder they look so great. I need to start following what they're doing. And you never know. It's that ripple effect. You might change the everything.
Your good habits and behaviors are going to make people uncomfortable because they aren't doing it in the time or in that moment.
Yeah.
And that's where like peer pressure or even like indirect pressure comes in. Um,
Those little pokes sometimes, those little
people are
jabs.
always gonna, people are always going to be asking you why you're doing that. And I say this firsthand because when I ended up losing 60 pounds. People asked why I wasn't drinking on the boat. People asked why when our neighborhood would order pizza, why I just wouldn't eat it,
Yeah.
right? Or people asked why I stopped cooking briskets every weekend. Um they asked that, and then I got to where I was where, I'm like the buff
They don't
dad.
ask you that
I'm the
anymore.
buff dad on the street. Like I didn't own a shirt for 2 summers. Like I just spread it around and gave my
I
flex.
remember that.
Nobody nobody brought anything up then anymore. They started asking what I was doing or like, what are my cardio programs? What are my strength programs? What do I like to eat? So nobody was jealous of the process.
Right,
Nobody envied that.
right.
They were real interested in the results.
Yeah.
Now, a fraction of those people are ever going to listen and do it, but you say this, I heard the same thing on this podcast I listened to, this multi, very, very wealthy guy that I follow. When he had his nose to the grind and was working and working, people would always question why you're missing family parties, why you're doing this, why you're doing this. And he's like, I just stayed focused on my goals. Now, all those people are the ones asking me for help, asking me for support. How did you do this? How did you do that? It's like, I just stayed focused on my goals. And then, the people that you want in your life, they'll stay in your life. And the people that you don't need, they'll weed themselves out.
Right. I remember being downtown and having somebody come up to me and say, Kim, you got to have a burger every once in a while. You got to really live every once in a while. And I'm like, but what if that stuff doesn't make me feel like I'm living? It usually gives me a bellyache. I feel bloated and my jeans feel tight, and that doesn't feel like living to me. So I'm like, it's funny how you will get those comments like, it kind of perpetuating that ticker tape in your head that you are missing out. But I promise you, most people don't even know how great they can feel until they start feeling great. And they don't give themselves that 14 days to even start feeling great. First day they go like, I didn't drink this weekend. I want to see that scale move down on Monday. And if it doesn't move down, they like go back to, the old chapter or whatever. Give yourself that 14 days. If you stay true to your goals for 14 to 21 days, I promise you that light switch will go off and you'll be like, weekends aren't so tough after all, because you start feeling really amazing.
Very, very true. And I've forgotten our next topic already. So if you got it,
Um,
just spit it out and
work
we'll.
harder, work smarter, not harder when it comes to exercise.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to tie this all in together in one. The biggest thing you need to do is you need to find what's sustainable for you, right? So many people out of the gate, they feel like they want to work out five, six, even the crazy people 7 times a week, twice a day. And the hard part of that is it's not sustainable. Like
Yep.
the fittest people I know don't do that, right?
Mhm.
Maybe some sort of Olympian or someone who's going into the CrossFit games whose life skill set, maybe even a professional athlete, when their livelihood is built around that, maybe those are the exception, right? But for, Joe average and Jane average, you've got to find something that works for you. So a lot of the things that I preface in our program is like, even if you're coming to the gym, you can come as much as you want. I suggest 3 to 4 times a week for almost every person because it's going to be something that don't bite off more than you can chew type of a deal. It's enough to see the results you want. It's enough to immerse yourself in the community. It's enough to where it becomes habit and behavior. And
Mhm.
it's enough for your body to change. Like the goal is not to live in the gym. The goal is to be able to live and enjoy life outside of the gym. And those 3 to 4 hours a week can do all that.
100%. And then I would say, really be specific about, if you have 30 minutes, a 30-minute walk versus a 20-minute, weightlifting with a 10-minute little cardio blaster at the end, you probably will get more out of the lifting versus just a slow 30-minute as far as calories, muscle building, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Be very specific on what you want to accomplish. If you're working out at Legacy, we got it all planned for you. Just walk through the door. If you're doing it on your own, be intentional and really try to be present in the moment when you're doing that, and recognize that it doesn't always have to be those really super long workouts. And I would say, especially for you women getting into your 50s, menopause, weightlifting, it's really, really, really important. It equates to your metabolism. So that's where it's working smarter, not harder. And also rest days are really important. So your cortisol level and your stress levels not really spiked up. It's not about 7 days, balls to the wall, everything, oh my God, I'm not going to lose weight. It's sustainability. And those rest days are important as well. You don't need to go 7 days a week, twice a day, because it's not sustainable.
I like to, I work out hard. I've worked out hard my whole life, but not every workout. Like there's days, you didn't sleep well. There's days you go in there and you just know it's not going to be your best workout. Now, I'll still push through, I'll work hard, but I don't need every workout to be a record breaker either. But I don't want to lose the habit and the behavior of doing those things. So I'm thinking of a workout specifically last week. I didn't really want to do it. I think Miranda was coaching. And I looked at the workout and I'm like, God, I do not want to do this leg work. I didn't want to do it, right? But I was there, and in my game plan the day before was like, I'm gonna go do the 7:30 workout. And then I saw it, I'm like, shit, I don't want to do this. But I got there, I'm like, I'm just gonna do it because if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna do it at all. And I don't want to say I just went through the motions because I did more than that, but it didn't need to be the best workout of my life. I pushed myself, I worked hard. I didn't lift the heaviest weights I've ever lifted. I didn't go as fast or as hard as I could. But when I got done with that workout, I felt a lot of personal, like I'm pride that I felt really good that I won. It's easy to do things when you want to. It's hard to do them when you don't want to. So on those days that push you, that challenge you, when maybe you're just not mentally there for whatever reason, a work issue, a relationship issue, stress from something else, when you can win on those days, it's going to really, really help you out. And then you're not going to have to feel like you have to play catch up. So stick to your schedule. Even if you don't want to do it, go do it. Again, there's no trophy for being the hardest working out person. Push yourself.
100%. And I think the bottom line about smarter, not harder, is remember, you're never going to outtrain your diet. So if you want to be, work smarter, uh, get those workouts in, because it's the only way to naturally increase your serotonin and dopamine. Get it done and your happy hormones. The only way naturally to both increase those at the same time is exercise. So it's good for your focus, energy, sleep, mentality, mood, all of that. But when it comes to results, smartest way to get them fastest is to focus on the nutrition. Um, it, it's just going to get you there the quickest way. And then when you combine them both, it's like Batman and Robin, and poof, you look back and you're like, holy crap, look what I accomplished.
Amen to that. So hope you guys got a lot out of this. Um, we'll get this recording out to you as soon as possible and keep kicking butt. Come to us with any questions, concerns. Kim and I are always here to help. The whole team is here to help. And we will certainly be back next week. Thanks so much.
Yeah.